Hello, everyone. Welcome to the lecture series on health management. In the previous session, we discussed three significant landmarks in the evolution of understanding and managing people were the human relations movement, the total quality management movement, and the contingency approach to management. In this session, we will discuss the concept of the contingency approach to management. The contingency approach to management is also known as the situational approach. During the 1950s and 1960s, management thinkers felt that the classic approaches were not flexible enough. One innovative management thinker was Fred Fiedler. He was an organizational psychologist who taught at the University of Illinois. Fiedler developed the contingency theory of leadership, which suggested that a leader's effectiveness depends on the interaction between their leadership style and the situation. The contingency approach to management is based on the idea that there is no single best way to manage, or there is no one best approach for all situations. The most appropriate style of management is dependent on the context of the situation. Adopting a single rigid style is inefficient in the long term. Contingency managers typically pay attention to both the situation and their own styles and make efforts to ensure both interact efficiently. In other words, managerial action is contingent upon the external environment. It is actually the if and then approach to management. If represents the independent variable, and then represents the dependent management variable or the technique to be adopted in that situation. For example, if workers have strong physiological needs, then financial motivators should be adopted. And if they have strong higher-order needs, then non-financial motivators should be adopted. This approach has various advantages like it integrates the principles of different schools of thought and applies them contingent upon the needs of the situation. It is pragmatic in nature, as the solution to every problem is found after analyzing the situation. It follows the technique of multivariate analysis, which means it thinks about all the possible variables or factors that affect the situation and adopts the best. It is adaptive in nature. So, it does not assume a pre-designed structure of the organization, but adopts a structure that helps the organization adapt to the environment. In spite of the various contributions, the contingency approach has not been acknowledged as a unified theory of management because it suffers from some limitations. Number one, due to the inadequacy of literature, it has not adequately spelt out various types of actions which can be taken under different situations, because it is not sufficient to say that managerial action depends on the situation. The approach should provide, if this is the situation, this action can be taken. Number two, the suggestion of the approach is very simple, but when put into practice, this becomes very complex due to its multivariate analysis part. Number three, this approach is reactive and not proactive in nature.